On today's video, we're going to cover another one of those topics that comes directly from you, our viewers, and that is, what does the process for buying a home look like here in the state of Tennessee and in Knoxville more particular? What are the differences from where you come from? What are the steps that this process takes place in? Well, that's what we're going to cover today, so let's get to it. So step one has to be your buyer representation agreement. Is that when you start working with a real estate agent, before they can show you any properties, you have to sign some type of written buyer representation agreement. And within that agreement, it is supposed to state, what services they offer to you. This is a conversation you 100% need to have with your agent early on in the process to see what are their fees, what do they charge, what are the commitment levels that they expect you to make, and when do they expect you to make those. So the second thing let's talk about is going to be going into contract. First of all, I want you to know that when you're writing a contract, this is where your real estate agent really becomes invaluable again. They need to have good negotiating skills because they're not just negotiating for you price, they're negotiating terms, closing dates, contingencies. There's a lot involved in this. An offer is a package. You do need to make sure that you're comfortable offering the price you're offering and understanding why that's a price that you're going to offer. Here's the responses that you can get from a selling agent. They have three choices when they receive your offer. They can accept it just like you wrote it. They can completely reject your offer, meaning they're not going to negotiate with you any further, they're just going to outright reject it. And the third option is they can counter that, meaning they accept certain terms of your offer, but they want to counter other terms. Let's move forward and let's look at some of these contingency areas and other things that you're going to be negotiating within this contract in a little more detail. So the first area that I want to look at within the contract is going to be your earnest and escrow money. This is an area where people are confused. You hear the word escrow, you think it's going into escrow. It's very confusing. This is just good faith money that is provided within whatever the agreed upon days are after the bound date. If you're working with us, we normally start out with a standard of 5 days. Here's what happens to that money. You will send that money to us electronically, and that money will be placed into our brokerage's escrow account, not to be held by the title company. It's to be held in our brokerage escrow account, which is a state mandated account. It is an account that the state can audit and watches over for us. One of the main reasons we ask for that money and a seller wants that money is to hold you into that contract and that you don't break the contract for just no legitimate reason. So as long as you are terminating your contract for a legitimate reason, that is a contingency written into your contract, then you're going to get a full refund of that earnest money back to you, usually, if not immediately, but within, just a day or two of the seller signing off on that. Now, what's the amount that we usually ask for? If you're working with us, our standard is 1% of the purchase price. Some areas are 2. I've seen as high as 3. But if you're buying a $750,000 home, you should expect to be able to put down $7,500 in earnest money, usually within 3 to 5 days of a bound contract. A home inspection is for you to determine, are there anything major about this home that you did not know about going in that would make you want to walk away from buying this home unless those deficiencies that are found are dealt with by the seller or you're compensated for them in some way. So then at that point, we have the ability to prepare for you a proposal to present to the seller. They do not have to fix anything. They can say no, take it as is, or leave it, and then we have to make the determination, do we want it or do we want to walk away? If there is anything in there other than just a cosmetic issue, so you have the option when we get this home inspection back to either terminate the contract, prepare a proposal to them and they can counter. We have to negotiate that out and see where we can come to a resolution on that. Or thirdly, we can just accept the home as is. Those are your 3 options as it relates to a home inspection. Now, there's a couple of things that the home inspector is going to ask you that I want to suggest. One thing he's going to do is ask you, or he should ask you, do you want a radon test? We always suggest that you get one. Everyone doesn't get a radon test, but radon, look it up online. It's an odorless gas that's natural coming out from the earth, and we have it here in East Tennessee, just like in lots of parts of the country. Put a house on top of it, and sometimes it captures that into a home. A third thing is that you see on the forms that we send you is, do you or do you not want a survey? Many of our clients choose not to do surveys for multiple reasons, but one of the main reasons we see that is that because it can take a significant amount of time to get a survey done in our area right now. You also have the option to do this in our contracts, and that is to say that you do want a home inspection, but you waive the right to ask for something to be repaired. It gives you the ability to go into the home, get a home inspection, and through that process, if there's something bad, to bail, so that you're not locked in, but at the same time to make the seller comfortable that you're not going to go to asking them for more off the price. Many of you will tell me early on in this, well, I need to get an attorney. But just so everybody's on the same page, Tennessee is a title state. What does that mean? It means that title companies in the state of Tennessee handle these closings, not attorneys. And there's many reasons for that. One, it's less expensive on the buyer. Two, it's quicker for buyer and seller. That title company's job is to do basically the same thing. They have the title review, they get title commitments for you for title insurance. They take all the monies in, they divvy that out, make sure everything is paid off, all past debts on the property and liens and all those things are checked for and paid for. So they take that role and they handle all of that for us here in the state of Tennessee. One of the last things that I want to cover in this video is closing dates and how far out a closing usually takes place. So it is very standard for us here in our area to have closings 30 days from the date of the offer. So if we make an offer on October the 2nd, it would be normal for that to close by November 1st or sooner. But if you as a buyer are asking us to probably go beyond 45 days without a real legitimate reason to give to a seller, it's going to be a real negotiating issue. The closing date is a contractual date in the forms, and it's something that's supposed to happen on that date. At the same time, it is not unusual for us to move that date up or maybe back just a little bit. That date can be a little bit flexible because things do happen in this process, and everything should be done in good faith. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe below so you can see when we do these videos. Every week we're putting out new videos. We're doing content that we think is very beneficial to you as a potential buyer or seller here in Knoxville, Tennessee area. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. We love those. And until next time, guys, I absolutely can't wait to see you around Knoxville soon.